Welcome to the Market Herald. I'm Brianna McCutcheon. Pan Global Resources is a Vancouver-based junior resource company listed on the Venture Exchange and the OTCQX. Pan Global is experienced in exploration, discovery, development, and mine operations. The company went into 2023 with an $8.5 million budget and dedicates more than 80% of its expenses to its Spanish exploration projects. With us today to speak on all things Pan Global is the company's president, CEO, and director, Tim Moody. So hello and welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Nice to see you again.
You as well. I think the last time we spoke, you were somewhere in a car on a call with...
That's right. I was on my way to the projects in Spain.
Yeah. Right. Very busy man, always flying somewhere.
Yeah.
So let's get down to business about the company. Drilling began back in June at the Romana West target. So why was it so important to get to that target right now?
Yes, that is our highest priority at present. We made a copper, tin, silver discovery called La Romana. A couple of years back, we've been drilling there intensely. This was the extension to the west. This was key for us to see how big the La Romana deposit could ultimately be. So, yeah.
And then why, or not why, I guess let's say, can you highlight some key results from the Romana West and then the Cañada Honda targets for those who are watching and might not know?
So our last two news releases were firstly Cañada Honda, which is a new target really. We've just begun drilling there. We had some really nice results. Copper and gold, which is a little bit different. We haven't seen gold in our other targets before. We seem to be at the edge of a large geophysics target. Every hole's hitting mineralization at the moment, and looks like that we could be on the edge of a big discovery. Romana West just put out the first batch of drill results, first 6 holes, as we progress the drilling from east to west. That was also very successful. It's shown the mineralization, the copper and tin are continuing. The geometry is the same, and it looks like it's still growing and going to get better.
Well, and copper seems to be the big topic of discussion, especially for the company. And I know there's been favorable findings, including more than, it says, 86% copper recovery. So how does the green metal tie into profitability, say, in the future picture?
Well, you're right. We are primarily focused on copper. It's the new green metal. It's going to be essential for the green transition. The results you're talking about are the metallurgy, the copper metallurgy results. They were excellent results that we put out, 86 to 89% copper recoveries. Concentrate grades were very high as well. Those were good not only for the numbers themselves, but relative to the other mining operations in the area. So that ultimately means we've got potential to produce a more valuable product that gets sold to the smelters.
Well, and I know you guys are waiting on tin results, if I'm not mistaken. Do you have a rough idea of what to expect from those?
Yeah, so the next stage of the metallurgical testing is the tin. And that work is advancing very well. It's looking very promising. Fortunately, we have the number one best tin mineral called cassiterite. So that's exactly what the metallurgists want to have. We should have those results maybe in about a month or so. At least have something to share.
So not too much longer.
Not too much longer, but it's looking quite good at this stage.
And I know the European Commission recently modified its critical raw materials to include copper and battery-grade nickel, which is great news. Yeah. So the U.S. Department of Energy's critical raw materials now include copper as well. So how do you see this affecting the company? I think a good thing. Yeah.
Well, it's a growing trend. I think we're seeing more countries, more parts of the world add copper to the critical minerals list. It is the key to the energy transition. It's used for everything, batteries and cars and you name it. So it's not only key for that, but I think the expectation is the world's not ready to supply the amount of additional copper that's going to be required to meet that the new demand that's coming. So that's looking very good for us. I think the timing could be spot on for us as copper prices are anticipated to really accelerate. Some people are predicting some doubling of the price over the next few years. But certainly the demand looks exceptional. We could be looking at doubling the amount of copper the world is consuming every year by 2035. So yeah, it's a big jump. And where's it coming from?
Yeah,
So
that's the question.
So we've got one of the, I think, one of those important new sources of copper, something that could be put into production potentially by the end of this decade.
And then for investors watching or potential investors who are tuned in right now, what are some key catalysts for the remainder of 2023? Because we're slowly closing in on the year.
Yeah, so we're completing the 25-hole program on the western extension of our copper discovery called La Romana. If the copper's continuing, that's great news because it means we're going to have to do more drilling.
Right.
But if we start to run to the edge, then we'll be looking to put out a resource sometime next year. But the first thing is to complete the 25-hole drill program. We're halfway through that now. Then we're waiting for the tin metallurgy results, I said, and we're also hopefully we'll be back to some of the other targets like Cañada Honda to drill again before the end of the year.
Well, thank you for your time and coming in to the office and speaking to us in person today. Appreciate it.
That's a pleasure.
Again, we have been speaking with Tim Moody, who is the President, CEO, and Director of Pan Global Resources. To stay up to date on the company, head to panglobalresources.com, or you can find them on one of their listings, perhaps the Venture Exchange, under the symbol PGZ. Special thank you to you, our viewers, for joining us today. I'm Brianna McCutcheon for the Market Herald.